Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning and a warm welcome once again on Galaxy Universal Network, Channel 500 on Stassad, and this is Pan-African Morning.
Hi, Sudi Melang. This is still Pan-African Morning News right here on Galaxy Universal Network. And of course, we are fearless, zero favor and zero fiction.
Warm welcome to Galaxy Universal Network, Channel 500 on Stassad.
Catch the Pan-African Morning Queens, SISANDA, QWABE-COUTAUD, and Balesa Muchiminyani every weekday at 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on Galaxy Universal Network, Channel 500 on Stassad. Catch us on all our social media platforms. It is Galaxy Universal Network on Facebook, at @gun_TV on Twitter and Instagram. Visit our website on www.galaxyun.tv. You sure don't want to miss out.
It is a very good morning and a warm welcome to Galaxy Universal Network, Channel 500 on Stassad. And this is Pan-African Morning. A very good morning to you, and thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for letting us to be in your homes and broadcast in your kitchens, in your bedrooms, in your bathrooms, in your lounges, everywhere else you are watching us. And thank you, of course, for those that are watching us through our social media platforms. We are saying thank you and a very good morning to you. Igama lami ke ngingusisanda unomusa kwaQWABE-COUTAUD. Intombazane yaphansi kwamhlaba iyalingana, umfule nguphuza ngiphuza ugelegele, kanti inkomo zakithi ngashiya zidla phansi emahlathini asekubandeni, kanti ke zona ziphuze ebhodleni, umfule ohamba ngeslow motion kwesikwazi biskoti kula ngibuya khona ke ngathwala amabombo ke ngahlaba obhokeni, amabombo ngabhekisa le goli kwandungaze yaduma kwanyama kayipheli kuphela amazinyo endoda. This is where we are broadcasting in Johannesburg, in the Republic of South Africa. If you are in the North Africa, or you're in the West African, or you are in the East African countries, and also if you are in the Southern African countries, of course, we are saying good morning, bonjour to you. And thank you for allowing us to be with you this beautiful morning. You could have been anywhere else, but you chose to be with us here, and we honor you for that. Without taking much of your time, let's give you the news headlines. President Cyril Ramaphosa addressed the media on the NEC meeting outcomes, and two policemen accused of murdering the 16-year-old in Eldorado Park appeared in court. And the Western Cape legislator is investigated for PPE corruption. And later on, it is the 1st of September. It means that spring has begun, as you can see. It's floral everywhere. Heritage Month as well has begun. It is here, and it is officially a travel month. It can't get any better. It is a spring day, of course. And of course it is your Heritage Day. As of tomorrow, you're gonna see QWABE from all across the African continent. We'll be having hairstyles like this, you don't want to know. It is going to be a beautiful one. And of course, on our green couch, we'll be sitting down with an author that we'll look into, of course, a little later on. So we are going to have quite a very good one, because she wrote a book, of course, on the obstacles of obesity, titled Obesity Must Fall. Hey, a very good one in there. And if you are not sure about your weight, I'm sure that everybody is trying to put on their summer bodies, preparing for summer. So it is about time that we are going to look into that. Without taking much of your time, let's give you the first top story. The African National Congress President Cyril Ramaphosa has announced major consequences for the ANC leaders in government facing corruption and other criminal charges. In an unusual move, Ramaphosa addressed the outcomes of the National Executive Committee meeting, which took place in Irene at the weekend.
Genevieve asks about allegations, and if allegations are raised against anyone, and they are just mere allegations, stories, and sometimes they can be the type of allegations that are planted either in the media, and sometimes we've seen that some allegations do get retracted, and there are legal suits that ensue between those who are alleged to have done certain things and the media. And in this regard, we say, even the media should be really, sure of their facts, but we leave that to them, no doubt. But if allegations are made and there are allegations that have weight, the person should go to the Integrity Commission. That is what the 54th conference decided. That if there are allegations against anyone that have to do with corruption or serious crimes, even before that person is charged, they must do the right thing and go to the Integrity Commission. Because failure to do so could get the Integrity Commission to either call you or to come to certain conclusions. So we say that there have to be serious allegations that are of such a nature that somebody must go and answer for themselves in a satisfactory manner and open up to the Integrity Commission. And once they have done so, the Integrity Commission will give consideration to what they are saying and come to a view. And they may say, in our view, this does not need you to either step aside or take any action. But at the same time, we've got other structures in our constitution that can kick in. A disciplinary process can also be invoked against a person. Ferrier says, are the decisions of the Integrity Commission binding? Thus far, even at our conference, this is a matter that is still to be discussed and finalized. And we are going to have this meeting with the Integrity Commission. And the Integrity Commission will be able to have a thoroughgoing discussion with the NEC. And in my view, ideally, decisions of the Integrity Commission must be binding, because the Integrity Commission is set up to look after the ethos, the values, and the ethics of the African National Congress. Alex says, will there be a mechanism to revoke, and I wrote revoke the membership? Yes. Is there a mechanism to revoke the membership? Yes, of course. There is a mechanism to revoke anybody's membership, and it's set out in Rule 25 of our Constitution, where if you are subjected to a disciplinary process, the disciplinary committee can come to a whole range of decisions, including revoking your membership, including saying you are expelled and may not join the ANC again for X number of years. So all that is set out in our Constitution. How many officials can we expect to step aside? I'm not in a position to can say now, and I think an earlier question is, who are the people that we expect should be affected by this? There are some people who have, of their own volition, already decided that they will step aside because they have realized and got to hear what the decision of the NEC is. So there are those, and we must pay tribute to such members and pay respect to them, and say that they are putting obviously the interests of the ANC ahead of their own personal interest. Am I able to count how many there will be? No. What we have sought to do is to set up a process, and a process which in its implementation will deal with all these matters. And in many ways, it is set up so that we put the issue behind us, so that it becomes automatic, so that comrades who stumble along the way and find themselves entangled in a number of issues should themselves of their own volition know that these are the rules. These are the rules of the African National Congress.
The recent COVID-19 procurement scandal has implicated the ANC leaders and the members, leaving the party's image bruised. Ramaphosa said that the party's NEC draw a line in the sand between the organization and those who steal from the people.
On the issue of people who step aside but continue to receive salaries, is that not giving them some measure of influence? I would beg to differ on that, because if somebody continues to get a salary and they have stepped aside, I don't see what influence that gives them. And by the way, on this issue, we do need to comply with the labor laws of our country. We have labor laws that regulate situations like these. And when a person has stepped aside and has been asked to move to the side and to take a leave of absence, we've got to continue abiding by the labor laws of our country until the matter is finalized. And once the matter is finalized, that is then that a matter of salaries or other benefits will come to the fore.
The NEC has also concluded that there was a choreographed campaign against the president meant to disrupt his anti-corruption campaign. The former president Jacob Zuma wrote a scathing letter last week accusing Ramaphosa of dividing the ANC over his corruption remarks.
CD asks, how has the Integrity Commission been strengthened? We are, as we said in our statement, going to have a meeting with the Integrity Commission, and in that meeting we are going to discuss the functioning of the Integrity Commission and how the ANC itself should interface with the Integrity Commission. We're also going to discuss how we can enhance and strengthen their work so that they can function much more effectively. And that is precisely what we are going to do. Now, CD says the Integrity Commission could be biased against the SG and more favorably disposed towards me. That is news to me. That is completely news to me. The Integrity Commission is a structure of the African National Congress that is made up of seasoned comrades in our movement, comrades who are veterans of the struggle, who know and understand the ethos and the ethics of our movement, who are able to make judgments and to analyze situations properly, and who will be able independently to come to conclusions on their own. So anybody who presents themselves to the Integrity Commission goes there having the confidence that we are talking to the elders of our movement. We're talking to people who are well versed with the policies of our movement, with the history of our movement, with the strategies of our movement, who will be able to apply their minds on everything that any one of us has to present. And I'd like to believe, and it is so, that they will be able to act without any fear or favor or prejudice against any member. If they become biased, then they have no right to be members of the Integrity Commission, no right whatsoever.
In response to the letter written by the former president Jacob Zuma to the president, Ramaphosa said that he did not see any need of responding singly to each and every letter that he has received, as he has received a number of letters from different individuals as citizens of South Africa, and he therefore will not entertain the one of President Jacob Zuma. Have a look.
Have I responded to the letter that was penned by former President Jacob Zuma? No, I have not responded. I received many letters as president of the ANC, and this letter happens to be one of those. So I have not responded. And obviously, the letter is being debated, it's being talked about, and so I have not responded to the letter. And I don't even know what the reasoning for the letters were, and will not even publicly entertain issues that are raised in the letter, because I think it's important as leaders where we are that if we are to engage in discussions, we should do it within the confines of our movement as leaders.
A very interesting one there by President Ramaphosa, of course, responding to the corruption of PPEs of 500 billion rands, and also, of course, with the response from the NEC meeting that was held over the past weekend. And, of course, his response from, of course, the former President Jacob Zuma, it's quite very interesting to hear that he is not going to, entertain that type of letter, as he has received many more of those, which I think that is kind of, correct, if I may say, that we cannot expect him to jump into the one. But for the fact that the letter comes from a former president, it might probably be given a specific priority, but not above those that probably that have arrived earlier than those. So let's see. Probably time will come where President will respond to that letter. And also, I am yet to hear him responding, of course, to what the mayor of Ekurhuleni, Masina, had to say outside Irene that very same Saturday. So let's hope that he will respond to that as well. And many other comments from the likes of Novula Mokonyane, who also was disputing President's letter to say that the ANC is enemy number one and suspect number one to corruption. Now let's move on with our stories. The community of El Dorado Park lined up the streets of Protea Glen as they had been peacefully demonstrating while waiting for the two murder accused to appear to court for the murder of Nathaniel Julius yesterday. Police officers Simon Scorpion and Dwalane, a 46-year-old, and Kaylin Whiteboy, a 26-year-old, appeared of charges of murder and at the Protea Magistrate Court yesterday. The duo are also charged with unlawful possession of ammunition, discharging a firearm in a public space, and defeating the ends of justice. Pindi Mjondwane, who is the regional NPA spokesperson, explains.
Two members of the South African Police Service, Simon Scorpion Njalivani and Kaylin Whiteboy, appeared at the Protea Magistrates Court, charged with murder, unlawful possession of ammunition, discharging a firearm in public, and defeating the ends of justice. The case emanates from an incident wherein a teenage boy was shot in El Dorado Park on the 26th of August 2020 and later succumbed to the gunshot wound. The matter has been postponed to the 10th of September 2020 for accused number 2, Kaylin Whiteboy, to secure legal representation and for a possible bail application. Both accused face offences that falls within the ambit of Schedule 6, and as the NPA, we will be opposing their release on bail.
It's time for us to take a very short commercial break. When we're coming back, we've got more news and updates for you right here on Pan African Morning. Please just stay with us.
Hello. Being a legal practitioner in South Africa in these challenging times demands lawyers that will help clients beyond legal issues. The ever-changing demands in commerce and tourism require lawyers who have sound and clear business and commercial knowledge, and that's where MB Chabangu Incorporated comes in. Our business, mining, tourism, health, labor, and economic knowledge encapsulated with law and litigation experience gives us an advantage in the legal sphere. Our experience in assisting businesses, government, and various industries with their needs puts us amongst the many progressive and striving law firms in South Africa. Now, to contact our attorneys for assistance with any of the mentioned fields and others, please call us on 012-341-4187 or send us an email on admin@chabangu.co.za. MB Chabangu Incorporated, where problems meet solutions.
Violence and sexual abuse against children has become a major social challenge during the COVID-19 lockdown. We appeal to adults, parents and caregivers to be kind towards children during this lockdown and beyond. Give children the space they need to engage with their reading and learning activities. Do not hit them. Do not yell at them. They are equally frustrated. We urge you to listen, support and help the children to survive the COVID-19 lockdown. Report immediately any incident of sexual abuse. The Department of Basic Education. Every child is a national asset.
The day will come when these measures are no longer needed. Until then, however, we must ensure that all our people receive adequate support. We look ahead to a better future. I have faith in the strength and the resilience of ordinary South Africans who have proven time and time again throughout our history that they can rise to any challenge that is presented to our country. We shall recover. We shall overcome.
Tech Talk brought to you by Tamani Technologies and Systems. Tamani Technologies and Systems takes leadership in fourth industrial revolution. The whole world is facing a transformation. The revolution will be developed into the following stages: digitization, cyber security, Internet of Things, managed services, document management, and business applications. We provide business transformation and ICT solutions with presence in 13 African countries and 2 European countries. We are your leading partner in integrated platform providers, innovation leaders, standalone products, and innovation pace setters. Tamani Technologies and Systems, delivering value across continents.
Welcome back again. If you have just joined us, we welcome you. We're still right here, of course, broadcasting live in the Republic of South Africa. And thank you for joining us. If you have just joined us, we are just running on the first 30 minutes of this morning show. We hope that you're still having a beautiful breakfast morning with us. Without taking much of your time, let's continue with our news headlines. The case against the economic freedom fighters, Commander-in-Chief leader Julius Malema and the Member of Parliament, Mbuyiseni Ndlozi, was postponed in their absence by the magistrate court in Randburg yesterday. Malema and Ndlozi are charged with assaulting a police officer at the funeral of Winnie Madikizela Mandela back in April 2018. The matter was set down to arrange a trial date, and both parties, the National Prosecuting Authority and the defense, agreed that a trial must resume on the 13th of October 2020.
White person and goes unpunished. So we're here because we had a scuffle with a white man. If it was a black person, they would have said, the two of you go for mediation, man, and find each other. But you don't touch a white person as a black person. If we did touch him, So
did you actually lay a hand on the soul?
I've never done that. I mean, if I laid a hand on him, I would have penal beated him. But it would have been worse than what you saw. So I don't play when I lay hands.
We are happy about the fact that the trial date has been set for the 10th of March. It brings clarity. It also sends out a message to all South Africans that there is equality before the law. Unfortunately, sometimes you need pressure from organizations like AfriForum to get that equality before the law. But the fact is, if you assault a police officer or anybody else, if it was me or you, we would have been prosecuted a long time ago. This has now taken 19 months, despite the fact that there is video evidence of the incident. But we are happy that we are now getting to a situation where South Africans can know people will be prosecuted.
Malema mara He says that he doesn't play when he lays hands because he would have panel beaten him. But I'm like, this is crime. You can't say such things, like some of the things you can't say them. I mean, how do you know you panel beat someone when you lay hands? This means you have done it before, and which we might, of course, have to look back. But I'm sure he was saying that with a sense of humor, of course, just playing around with the reporters, saying that if he was indeed guilty of assault, we would have seen visible, visible action, or rather visible bruises in that person's body, because they actually, or he particularly, doesn't beat, he panel beats, to be precise. Now, moving on with our stories, 15 people appeared at the Pretoria Magistrate Court yesterday. The group were arrested in connection with the 56 million police car branding case and face charges of fraud, money laundering and corruption, as well as theft. They are all granted 5,000 bail each. One more accused, who only handed himself over yesterday, will only appear on Wednesday, the 2nd of September, for his formal bail application. Sindisiwe Twala, a national spokesperson for the Investigative Directorate, explains.
15 people appeared before the Pretoria Magistrates Court today. They were arrested over the weekend in connection to a 56 million rand car branding case. They are charged with fraud, money laundering, corruption, as well as theft. They were all released on 5,000 rand bail each. They are going to be joining the 16 others who were arrested earlier this year in June and have already appeared and are out on 5,000 rand bail each. One other suspect who only handed himself over yesterday will also appear on Wednesday this week, the 2nd of September, for his formal bail.
Yeah, quite very interesting to see a variety of a rainbow nation represented in that corruption charge. Quite very, very interesting. We'll get to see the end of the story, of course, as the story continues. And I mean, why would you charge so much money just for branding of the police cars? It's really, really devastating to see the level of corruption in this country. There is corruption everywhere, everywhere. I'm telling you, this country is beyond understanding. There is corruption. I mean, I'm sure even washing dishes can become a corruption. Like it's terrible. It's terrible. People find ways of just, embarking on their own personal journeys and, squeezing every single cent that they could get from the state in this country, however they can. If it's possible, it's done. It is done. Welcome to South Africa. Moving on with our stories. Tourism Minister Mamaloko Ngubane officially launched Tourism Month celebrations at Destiny Lodge in Cullinan yesterday. This follows the announcement of Level 2 lockdown that permits South Africans to travel to other provinces. She said that there will be a series of tourism events that will happen during the month of September, culminating with the celebration of World Tourism Day on September 27 in Gauteng. This year's theme is tourism and rural development, as she has mentioned. This year's theme was conceptualized as a recognition of important role that tourism plays in the development of rural communities by the way of poverty alleviation, employment creation, and overall stimulation of economic activities.
Like a tree rooted deep in its roots. A place where we drum and drum and drum to sing the sun down. South Africa is the land that encourages diversity. A nation that is so diverse in its abundance. A nation whose people live like family, love like brothers, and share like sisters. A country whose embrace is as warm as the afternoon sun that makes us smile and opens up its arms in an honest gesture that calls for you and you and you. May its life pull you towards itself, for you to experience the mystic realm of its colors. And you, when you find these phrases, may you splash them across your canvas as shades of our freedom, for they are the red.
Moving on with our stories, actually, I was actually reading some of the comments, which is what makes me laugh, by the way. There's a comment from Hamilton. Okay, let me start. Let me start from the top. Sizwe Edad Kibido, of course, he says, good morning, rise and shine. Happy spring day. A beautiful one to you too, Sizwe. And then Temba says, Sanibonani makosigazi, hashtag Zimbogoto. How Temba? Ni one most. Why uyenza kanje? You're wrong, Leon. You're wrong. Or maybe I'm that big. It's possible. Now, one interesting one. Hamilton Masufi says, wow, our presenter, she's hot today. Haibo. And I like it the way she says it. And she does feel her hotness. It says, I like this lady on this beautiful day of spring. Hello, Caesar, you rocking. I'm sure you wanted to say Caesar. Hello, Sister, you are rocking the show today, and thanks for making our morning to be wow. Thank you so much, Hamilton, for that message. And of course, thank you to all our contributors in this morning that you dropped us your comments. They're quite very interesting. I'm not sure if I can feel my hotness. So, okay. I'm not sure how it feels like when you feel your hotness. I might as well maybe start doing this to confirm, that I am... You know what I mean. Moving on with our stories. More details emerged in a Gigaba property damage case. It is reported that the luxury SUV at the center of Malusi Gigaba's marital turmoil belonged to the Northwest businessman named Tapelo Ntepe. According to Ntepe, he loaned the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon Class to the former minister because Gigaba was having some car troubles. The former minister, Noma Gigaba, has been charged with malicious damage to property for allegedly vandalizing the car back in July. Ntepe explained that the situation in the written response to questions that he met Gigaba through a mutual friend. And of course, the case against Noma Gigaba is back in court on the 14th of September. And of course, Noma has changed her identity. She is no longer Noma Gigaba. She is now Noma Mgoma, quite a very beautiful blonde woman in there. She's quite hitting it quite very hard. And I saw you, Noma, your suits. I mean, yeah, me and you. Yeah. I'm seeing that. Quite very good one. Keep it up in there, madam. Moving on with our stories now, going to Cape Town, of course. The Western Cape Legislature Speaker, Masizo Lemnqasela, says that she has revealed the legislature has spent about 332,814 on the procurement of personal protective equipment in response to the global COVID-19 pandemic. The disclosure comes as the two provincial departments, the education as well as the health, are being investigated in the PPE procurement probe by the Special Investigating Unit. Nqasela said that he was making the disclosures in a spirit of transparency. Nqasela also said that altogether 12 businesses have benefited from this procurement of the PPEs, and items procured included three-layer reusable cloth mask, hand and surface sanitizer, physical distancing mask, markers and disposable gloves, as well as mask infrared thermometers and face shield, as well as hands-free sanitizers dispensers. Reports state that the PPE procured for officials and members of the provincial parliament. The legislature has also procured a generous quantity of reusable cloth masks and bottles of hand sanitizer in distribution in community communities across the province. SIU Chief National Investigations Officer Leonard Likgetho last week told parliamentarians that told the Parliament Standing Committee on Public Accounts that in addition to two departments, the Mazikama and Lanesburg municipalities were also under investigation. Meanwhile, the ANC MPL Khalid Sayed said that he has called for a discussion in legislature of the SIU probe.
Hi, this is Alan Windey, Premier of the Western Cape, and we will be releasing now our second PPE procurement disclosure report. The first one was put out, and of course we ask for people to have a look. This is all part of transparency with regards to our procurement. We've seen a lot of corruption in South Africa around procurement of PPE during COVID-19. We led with this open procurement disclosure report, and now the second one, which is going to have even more detail, and we ask people to engage with it by opening it up. Really helps us make sure that we're running a clean government.
Time for us to take a very short break. When we're coming back, we've got more news and updates for you right here on PN African Morning. Please do stay with us.
Violence and sexual abuse against children has become a major social challenge during the COVID-19 lockdown. We appeal to adults, parents and caregivers to be kind towards children during this lockdown and beyond. Give children the space they need to engage with their reading and learning activities. Do not hit them. Do not yell at them. They are equally frustrated. We urge you to listen, support and help the children to survive the COVID-19 lockdown. Report immediately any incident of sexual abuse. The Department of Basic Education. Every child is a national asset.
The day will come when these measures are no longer needed. Until then, however, we must ensure that all our people receive adequate support. We look ahead to a better future. I have faith in the strength and the resilience of ordinary South Africans who have proven time and time again throughout our history that they can rise to any challenge that is presented to our country. We shall recover. We shall overcome.
Tech Talk brought to you by Tamani Technologies and Systems. Tamani Technologies and Systems takes leadership in fourth industrial revolution. The whole world is facing a transformation. The revolution will be developed into the following stages: digitization, cyber security, Internet of Things, managed services, document management, and business applications. We provide business transformation and ICT solutions with presence in 13 African countries and 2 European countries. We are your leading partner in integrated platform providers, innovation leaders, standalone products, and innovation pace setters. Tamani Technologies and Systems, delivering value across continents.
Feel the heat.
Chicken portions are an easy way to feed a crowd.
I've just started to incorporate all my ingredients.
We're going to put this inside of a hot cast iron skillet.
You want to really fill up on great protein.
It's now time to sample the chef's dish. Look at this.
I know.
Like that.
Feel the excitement.
The chicken is on the spot.
Feel the heat with StarSat. Feel the heat.
Just watch this. Let the pictures tell you everything.
It's all the way through!
Oh, what about that? That was really special. Those are the moments that supporters will remember.
Feel the excitement. That was delightful. Feel the heat with StarSat. Feel the heat. Feel the excitement. Feel the heat with StarSat. Feel the heat.
Do you dream of awesome cartoons filled with funny characters who go on extraordinary adventures?
Everybody ready? Ready!
Hold on, I'm coming! This is absolute genius.
I'm on my way.
I'm ready.
Titans, go!
Feel the excitement.
Like it? I love it!
Feel the heat.
Welcome back again. If you have just joined us, we welcome you. We're still going on with our news update this morning. It is a spring day, of course. If you have just joined us, we hope that you have got blooms, but in Amablom, we've got flowers coming all around you as we are enjoying this spring day, which is also tourism month and the heritage month. So we're really going to have a beautiful the month of September, and hopefully the numbers of COVID-19 infections, they are slowly but surely decreasing, but still it doesn't mean that it has stopped. So we must continue to take care of one another and of course protecting one another from the virus. Moving on with our story. The Democratic Alliance in the Western Cape legislature has said that the buttered wine industry needed a comprehensive national strategy to help grow again. The sector lost billions over the coronavirus lockdown. A group of emerging women farmers marched to Parliament. They believe that they are still being excluded from that particular sector. According to the DA, Andrikas van der Vesthuizen said that 50% of all businesses that produced and distributed wine had indicated that they did not have the financial capability to cover short-term challenges. 30% of all black-owned businesses in the wine industry indicated that they would not be able to survive the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, looking into the story, of course, Khabula is a South African unorthodox place of worship which allows its members to drink alcohol during the services. It was founded in 2017 by Tsietsi Makiti to capture the unchurched people who would ordinarily be rejected by the conventional tradition and evangelical churches. The church allows its members to drink alcohol during the services. It is reported that the church has expanded abroad to Canada, Switzerland, Germany, and Brazil. In the hall, chairs are set a meter apart in line with coronavirus physical distancing and protocols, and worshippers sip away as they listen to the sermon. An improved pulpit is decorated with bottles of gin and lagers. Now let's have a look at that. Okay, it will look like I have to continue and stop Khabulaing because Khabula is not yet available. Now, the fact that they have expanded outside the country to the likes of Germany and Switzerland and so on, this is very interesting, really, really interesting. I'm not sure if, the major bishop is still the one here in South Africa, or probably it is somewhere else. And I'm hoping that Khabula can also, expand to other parts of Africa. I mean, especially where I come from, we've got, our traditional, not really traditional, but our home-brewed alcohol, which is called Injemane. And of course, we also have another one called ingwabulane. So I'm hoping this could be actually brought into this church. I mean, imagine a pastor, preaching, having ingwabulane next to him, and of course sharing it with other people in there. It would be quite a very interesting one to see. So Kabula Church, your expansion is appreciated, and of course we hope that this is, of course, what you believe in. And I think it's about time. I know a lot of people have been criticizing this church and stuff like that, but the fact that they praising God, or whoever that they're praising, but I think they're praising God, it is something other than sitting there fighting, arguing, and doing all lot of ungodly things. The only challenge that they say they cannot, of course, fix is the issue of alcohol, which it becomes an abuse, of course. So yeah, we'll see when you're crossing the bridge. Kabula Church. Moving on with our stories now, we're going outside of the African continent, of course. Sudanese authorities and several rebel movements have signed a peace agreement to end a 17-year-old war in Sudan. According to the United Nations, the agreements were done in 2 stages at the ceremony in Juba and Darfur, where the war that began back in 2003 left at least 300,000 people dead and about 2.5 million people displaced in first few years. And now Mohamed Hadman Danglo, a vice president of Sovereignty Council, signed the agreement. And Mr. Danglo said that the leaders of rebel movement grouped within Sudanese Revolutionary Front shook hands and even initiated a few dance steps. Of course, the agreement was also done in presence of President of the South Sudan, Salva Kiir, who served as a witness. A very, very beautiful story there to watch. Of course, to see the fact that these people are, of course, coming into an agreement and also making, that type of a relationship to make sure that finally there must be peace. Because, of course, they usually say that when 2 elephants fight, the grass suffers the most, which is, the fact that all these people that are dying, people that were displaced, over 2 million people that were displaced, over 300,000 people that were killed, we're not the instigators of this violence. We're not the people that started the entire conflict. In the end, they were found to be the victims of this very much unfortunate incident. It's time for us to take a break, but as we are going on the break, let us show you now on how Kabula Church does the ceremony. Stay with us.
People are enjoying the heaven on earth in Kabula Church. So Kabula Church is a small heaven on earth. Each and every church is connecting to God in their own way. But in Kabula Church, we are connecting to God under the influence of liquor. Swear, forgive us the trespass against. I am the founder and the leader of Kabula Church. Kabula Church is a church that was meant to accommodate the so-called drunkards that were rejected from their colonial churches, so that they may come together as one in Kabula Church to can enjoy worship and drink the liquor as they wish at the same time. Today our church services will be a dry one, because now we don't want to defeat the ends of justice. That is the aim of today. We are not committing any crime in Kabula Church. And then we hate to commit the crime in Kabula Church. The liquor that we are supposed to be drinking is inside the stomach already. Everybody over here, as you see the bishops, the archbishops, the owners of the tavern, as you see the congregation, they swallow before they come to the church, and then they sanitize their stomach so that we may be able to can meet with our God. May God give you grace. May God give you heaven on earth in Khabula Church. We are a bit under the influence, but in that regard, the Holy
Hello. Being a legal practitioner in South Africa in these challenging times demands lawyers that will help clients beyond legal issues. The ever-changing demands in commerce and tourism require lawyers who have sound and clear business and commercial knowledge, and that's where MB Chabangu Incorporated comes in. Our business, mining, tourism, health, labor, and economic knowledge encapsulated with law and litigation experience gives us an advantage in the legal sphere. Our experience in assisting businesses, government, and various industries with their needs puts us amongst the many progressive and striving law firms in South Africa. Now, to contact our attorneys for assistance with any of the mentioned fields and others, please call us on 012-341-4187 or send us an email on admin@chabangu.co.za. MB Chabangu Incorporated, where problems meet solutions.
Violence and sexual abuse against children has become a major social challenge during the COVID-19 lockdown. We appeal to adults, parents, and caregivers to be kind towards children during this lockdown and beyond. Give children the space they need to engage with their reading and learning activities. Do not hit them. Do not yell at them. They are equally frustrated. We urge you to listen, support, and help the children to survive the COVID-19 lockdown. Report immediately any incident of sexual abuse. The Department of Basic Education. Every child is a national asset.
The day will come when these measures are no longer needed. Until then, however, we must ensure that all our people receive adequate support. We look ahead to a better future. I have faith in the strength and the resilience of ordinary South Africans who have proven time and time again throughout our history that they can rise to any challenge that is presented to our country. We shall recover. We shall overcome.